got a lot to get to, man. Let's get rolling. You know what it is. Judgment Day, man. CFP rankings came out. So a couple things. Bama's in. Notre Dame out. Two damn group of 5 schools in.
Let the crying begin.
So Kelsey, I'll start with you, brother. Did Alabama deserve to be in?
I don't think deserve is a good word. Alabama earned their way in based on what they did in the regular season.
Oh,
if you look at if this was a 1-game beauty contest, our last game, then we would have come up short. But this was an evaluation of what we did in the entire season in the toughest league in the country, and we were the number 1 seed, and therefore we earned our way in. I know that the term earned is something that's respected in this group. That's something that is valued in this group. And so what you do on the field, not what you do when you shave your legs and you put your sash on and get in the beauty pageant, that's not what we're doing. It's like, what do we do on the field? We handled our business on the field throughout the regular season. And in the reward game, we didn't show up in the way we needed to, but that put us in. If you're going to match us up, if this was back in the BCS days, where it's 1 and 2, no, we didn't deserve to be in. If this was back in the college playoff days when there were 4 teams, no, we didn't deserve to be in. But you're going to pick 12 teams, ain't no way on God's green earth we ain't supposed to be in there.
So you holding on to
no way.
I'm just asking the question.
Go ahead, ask it.
The big wins you're talking about would be Georgia and Vanderbilt.
Okay, well, first of all, I don't like the way you try to slide Vanderbilt like that. If Vanderbilt will walk up and down the field on Florida State or whoever other team you want to put in there.
Saying Georgia and Vanderbilt, right?
Well, no, I'm not saying just Georgia and Vanderbilt.
Or who else?
Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri before their quarterback got injured. Okay, roll your eyes. I know.
No, the reason I'm rolling my eyes is not at you. It's actually not at you. It's
okay.
The dude up in the top left up there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because he'll down other ranked teams in other conferences, but like you're doing now, held the mid teams in the SEC.
No, I don't see that's
all I'm saying.
I don't consider Vanderbilt a mid team. In fact, I had Vanderbilt as being a playoff team. I had Vanderbilt beating Tennessee and Texas after seeing what they did earlier. And so I think Vanderbilt is actually one of the better teams in the nation. If we're going,
would you say they're on the same scale as let's say Utah?
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay, that's all I want to hear. That's all I want to hear.
No, I'm sorry. Higher.
They're above.
Higher.
Vanderbilt
than Utah.
Above.
Thank you.
Higher than Utah.
They're above.
So what he's trying to do, Kelsey, is put Arizona, Utah, and Vanderbilt in the same.
Yeah, no,
they're the same caliber teams.
No, they're not. Their roster is not the same caliber. The type of athletes they have is not the same caliber. How they withstood week in and week out competition is not.
Oh, my God.
Who did Arizona and Utah beat? Again,
did he say? Hold on. Are we saying Arizona? Not Arizona State. Arizona.
Hold on. Let me bring you into the argument. If you miss the
conversation. Okay, yeah, you hide behind that mic. Go ahead and hide behind that mic because if you say Arizona,
last night Dante asked the question immediately after we got thought. Did Alabama deserve to be in based on the fact that the conversation that was being had was that you can't lose in the conference championship game and drop. So he tried to juxtapose that against BYU now in the Big 12. So I said your premise is all jacked up because we're talking about the SEC and the Big 12. If you were talking about the SEC and the Big 10, we
were talking about
you can make an equivalency there.
They beat ranked teams too. So why did they drop in there?
I'm not. So
but again, they didn't beat the same caliber of ranked teams.
A ranking is just a number. A ranking is just a number. I'm not going to just say that. I'm like, how good was the team?
We can sit here.
Who was up there all year? Who was up there all year?
Utah been ranked. What are we talking about? We acting like Utah has been a nothing program. Stop it, man.
What? Just because Utah ran the dog off of Colorado?
Man,
with a freshman quarterback? Or you don't like Colorado no more?
My thing with the Alabama people is those mid teams that you're talking about, Tennessee's, LSU's.
They're not.
Y'all acting like these teams are so much better than these teams in these other conferences.
Okay, let's make a clarification. Let's make a clarification.
They are.
Let's make a clarification. Even if their records aren't better, their talent is better. So that's a thing. Which is why we can see a Florida team that even with a horrible record, some days will step up and they're like, okay, wait a minute, they beat somebody. It's like, well, shoot, they got dudes on their team. they're not a not talented roster. They're not performing up to their talent, but they are a more talented roster. So that's A. But B, like a team like, again, you saying Vanderbilt, you're treating them like they're Vanderbilt of the 1980s. This
No,
Vanderbilt team is not that.
I'm not, but you're treating them like they Bama of the Saban era. Come on, man.
No.
They're a
I'm
mid
not doing
team.
that.
They're mid.
Okay, when you say mid, what do you mean? Mid as in
I mean,
it'll do
there's a
to
pool
get high,
team,
or mid
and
in
if you
terms
take them
of I'm not getting my money's
from
worth.
like 12 to 25, they're about the same. If you get them on a neutral field, any of them could win. That's what I'm saying.
I think Vanderbilt's a little bit better than that.
So I'm gonna go back to the original question about whether or not Bama deserved to be in. They deserve to be in. That's that we can't argue that. They deserve to be in. They were the number one team in the SEC before they got their ass destroyed in the SEC championship. That's just what it is. But they have not been. This is what I said originally once they got put in. If Georgia had beat them twice, so they won the first meeting, and let's just say Bama had won one of those other games they lost, then I could see the committee putting them out completely boldly because Georgia beat them twice.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't happen. So their status still stays high because they were the best team. They ended up being the best, having the best record in the SEC. I can't really agree with, and I know I said it, but I misspoke when I said they were the best team in the SEC because at the end of the day, they were not. They weren't. They haven't been playing well for the last 3 or 4 weeks at all, with having no balance on the offensive side of the ball. But so yeah, they deserve to be in. Now, if we go on to our next question, Dante, when we get to talking about Notre Dame and did they get holes? Absolutely. Alabama's ranked way too high. They rank way too high. That's to me, that's the committee looking ahead and trying to see what the hell they want to happen. And that's not right. You know what I'm saying? That the Alabama spot, in my opinion, should be Notre Dame spot. They should be ranked higher than them. No question. They got a better record.
And that goes against
Alabama,
what you just said. You just said they didn't.
They have a better record. They have a better record than Alabama.
Well, hold on. So
they have a better record. How? Outside of the conference championship.
They have. If I'm not mistaken, aren't they 10-2?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were 10-2. Yeah.
Okay, so they only lost 2 games and Bama lost 3.
So you referring to the flip flop last week? Is what you're referring to?
You know what I'm saying? So,
I'm asking the question. Is that what you're talking about? The flip of those 2 teams?
No. He's saying because Alabama has 3 losses and Notre Dame only has 2. That's a better record. Which is completely irrelevant in this conversation.
So if we're looking at Notre Dame, Miami, and Alabama, who's been playing the best football the last?
Notre Dame.
Okay. So at the very least, committee, can we at least have the team that's been playing better? Because Alabama's been asked. Let's just be honest. They've been asked. So at least have Notre Dame above them just on that merit alone. But we didn't get that.
We got them looking ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Let me get in. You cannot use the eye test in unbalanced conferences. You saying Notre Dame has been playing better, but who have they played?
They ain't playing nobody.
Who have they played?
Yeah, like Ohio State. So as they play somebody, all of a sudden,
they don't look like
only good win Notre Dame really has is USC.
Yeah, and if you talking about mid teams,
right?
So you can't use who's been playing the best.
So let's look. This is how I look at it. Okay, Notre Dame has been playing better than Alabama. Okay, we just said that, right? Alabama lost games that they were expecting to win. Notre Dame didn't do that. Notre Dame didn't come out and lay eggs. Alabama did that. We saw it. We saw them lose to
who was favored in Notre Dame in the Notre Dame Texas A&M game.
I don't remember.
Okay, but that was a game they played and lost.
Do you remember?
I think they were favored. I think they were favored.
Notre Dame was favored in the Miami game because Notre Dame was in the Weren't they in the championship game?
Yeah, it was in the championship game. Yeah, I think Miami may have been favored in both the games they lost to the legitimate teams they played this year. So what are you saying, Jerry?
Well, I didn't say Miami. I didn't say Miami was playing better than anybody. I asked, the question was who
Notre
played the
Dame
best
was favored
football
by
between the
6.5
three of
points
them,
when they played
and
Texas
you
A&M.
agreed with me. It
So
was Notre
so
Dame.
here's what
Yes,
here's
yes. But that's
I
not
didn't
that.
say
But
I
again,
didn't say
that's not.
anything about Miami.
But that's not the question at hand.
I have
Well,
no
first,
respect for the ACC.
Get in,
let,
G. What was you about to say?
So first, again, when I get back to who's playing better, these are unbalanced conferences. The ACC and whatever schedule Notre Dame played is not the same as Alabama's schedule. If we look at the metrics is what determines where these teams rank when it comes to the CFP. You got to look at strength of record. You got to look at strength of schedule. Do you know that Alabama, out of all the conference, the playoff contenders, had the number one strength of record? Actually, it was number 6, and the 5 teams above them are not even considered into the CFP mix. So what are you talking about? And you're talking about record that before Saturday they were both 10-2. Again, my question to you and Dante: who the hell did Notre Dame beat? Who did BYU beat?
The teams
Nobody
they were expected to, and Bama didn't.
But that's not
Bama.
okay. So
You were fully
that's
expecting Bama to beat Georgia, and they couldn't do shit with Georgia. You were fully expecting them to beat who'd you
I
just say,
wanted
Kelsey,
them to
Texas
beat
Tech,
Georgia,
and they didn't. You
but
fully
they beat
expected them to
Georgia.
win those
But they
games,
beat Georgia
and
in
they did.
Athens. They
yeah,
beat
they did.
Georgia
They
in
walked in their
Athens.
trap and
I'm
took it
talking
over.
about. I'm
So
talking about. I'm talking about
move
in
to
the
this.
SEC. I'm talking about in the SEC championship. I was
But
specific.
again, that before
Does anybody think Notre Dame should have been in over Miami?
No,
no.
no.
Okay, so we don't need to
So
discuss that
so
because I
so
don't think
let's
any of
but
us think that.
let me be clear about something. When you're talking about the last team to get in, deserve really is not a great word. It's like, okay, if you really want to be in, then be one of those top teams. Once you get to the 64th, 65th team in the NCAA tournament, when you get to be this last, are we in? Last year's us and SMU, this year's us and Notre Dame. It's just like, if you don't get in, you didn't handle your business. When you put it in
Right.
the committee's hands, you didn't handle your business. So am
Exactly.
I going to cry about Alabama being in? Nope. I'm going to celebrate like we won the chip. But if they didn't get in, they didn't.
Not that hard.
They didn't handle their business. They didn't
Not,
handle their business.
not
But
that hard.
let me also say this too. I think and it's about some of the unbalanced nature of things. Notre Dame gets the benefit of not having to play in the conference.
Yeah,
That's my
we've
point.
been
And
talking
because
about
of
that for
that,
years. Yeah,
and I love that the committee said we're not going to just allow you to get by on that. Once they got close to Miami and said, all right, y'all got similar records, similar metrics, y'all played on the field.
yeah,
Miami beat y'all.
yeah.
Y'all go home.
And my
Go
thing with
home.
Notre
Go
Dame
home,
is
Notre Dame.
you can't lose both the tough games, run the table against the cupcakes, and get into the
Yes,
play.
and then say we good. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that just doesn't work for me. You know,
And,
Yeah,
and
all the
maybe if
games
they
got to
had
matter.
maybe if they had split those 2 games, okay, I can see
Yep.
it.
Yep.
But to lose both tough games, run the cupcakes, and get into the playoff.
Yep.
No.
No.
and here's what's crazy about that. If Miami had handled their business and won the conference
And beat
title,
SMU. Yeah.
Notre Dame would have been in
Yeah. Exactly.
because James Madison would be out.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
Either James Madison or
ACC with
Tulane.
that craziness almost cost themselves with that crazy BS of a tiebreaker that they have. Some
Yep.
strength of record, some craziness while Miami wasn't in there. Just some foolishness, man.
Yeah. Well, no, you can't say that because they went and lost to SMU. It's like you can't, once you put yourself in the hands of other people because of what you didn't do when you had control of a situation, ain't but so much crying I'm gonna listen to about what they did me wrong. It's like, well, when you had an ability to knock somebody off the ball, hand the ball off, drive them off the line to get into the end zone, and you fumbling, hey, that ain't the refs didn't do it to you. The commissioners didn't do it to you. The tiebreaker didn't do it to you. That's something that y'all didn't execute on the field, and I'm gonna hold you accountable for that. And so, stop whining.
Now, before we move on, one last little question, just around the horn. Are we okay with 2 group of 5 teams?
I'm not okay.
When we know they're not the best 12 teams, I'm okay with giving them a spot. I don't think there should be any scenario where 2 of them get.
2 group of 5.
Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't set up to give them 2 spots. They
that's
set
what
it
I'm
up.
saying, but it should be no scenario where it could happen.
Well, no. It shouldn't be a scenario which you can't
ACC
completely
gotta
take it
fix
off the
that.
table.
ACC
You say
gotta fix
we're gonna
that.
take the 5 top conference champions, and then the 4 top conferences got to handle their business. If they don't, You can't even say, well, why did they get in? It's like, well, y'all didn't handle your business. Why is Duke
No
winning your
way.
conference championship?
Why is
Whoever
Duke
those
winning your
next,
conference
whoever
championship?
11, 14, Vanderbilt, Texas, Notre Dame. Come on, man, stop it.
Well,
We know we know they're all better than Tulane,
yes,
James Madison.
but this, in order to get consensus on a playoff, you can't just say, unless the SEC and the Big Ten go off and do what they want to do, you got to play with the young boys. And you got to say, okay, what can I get you to agree upon? And this was the system they agreed upon to have them included. So either you go completely a big boy system and we play big boys and none of the G5s, and then you just separate them.
No, I
Then
don't
that's
want
one
that
way to
either.
do
I
it. But if you
want
want the
G5,
G5s
but I think they need to
participating,
come up with a system where only one of them can make it. Put it
but I'm
on,
saying,
make a way where only
but
one of them can make it.
but then, all right, will the G5s agree to that?
If they don't, what are they gonna do?
That's what I'm saying. But then you go off and do your own
No,
thing.
I'm saying it's not gonna hurt the CFP.
Dante, this was an anomaly season, and it was good for the, you know what I'm saying, to test the principles of the CFP.
Yeah, it
The
did. It really did.
ACC botched whatever. They botched it on the field, and they botched it on their rules on how they determine who makes the conference title.
But I would say that the ACC is not a power conference. I would say they're really only two power conferences.
It's leaning that way, and that's a
shame. It ain't leaning. It ain't leaning. It is.
Notre Dame,
that's a good topic. We'll probably end up having to get into. For real.
Yes, but here's the problem with that though.
Miami and Florida State are letting us down.
Well, Clemson too. Don't forget about them. So, but I'm saying, but it's not a power conference. But the other problem is the power conferences, especially the Big Ten this year, are super top heavy.
Yeah.
So to your point, I think the point that you're trying to make about the SEC is really true about the Big Ten, where you got like 3 teams up top, and then you got about 17 teams that are just like, and a couple of them at the bottom who are just the sewer.